Time to go racing in Gridlife GT race number 1. It is a new Edge Ford Mustang alongside a Honda Civic TCR. 8.9 to 1 power to weight in its first year of competition. Green flag and we're underway. And immediately Hans Horpedal jumps out of line 3 wide, drives up to 3rd place. Houghton takes the lead and into turn 1 here, Mark. Hans Horpedal from the back of the field, the 2nd and 1 straightaway.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting there that AJ decided to take the inside line, but it does not look like it's worked out. I don't know, maybe he had a missed shift or something. He was side by side with James, and then he kind of lost some ground. Hans jumped up there as well, so unfortunate, but I bet that AJ is going to be able to get back up there with James and put him under some pressure. Yeah, we'll see what the pressure looks like, and Hans struggling out of the right-hander there onto turn 4, and Chris DeLucia is going to go on by, and as quickly as it started, it looks like he's already got problems. Kind of see James faded to the middle of the track there, kind of protecting the inside, and then he moves back over for the braking zone as they go into turn 1. Neither one of them take much curve. They stay kind of mid-track, track out here, then turn back into turn 2, get ready to set up for turn 3. It all comes at you so quick, so fast. Yeah, it certainly does. And again, we've seen on the Fire Laps data here, all these cars running Fire Links, that James Houghton a little bit less speed through the corners, but on braking in particular has been really good with that Honda Civic TCR. On DeLucia climb the uphill. DeLucia a little bit better through that portion of the racetrack, but we've seen Thompson be really aggressive on those curbs. The car seems to take those a little better. And in the uphill, look at 92 miles an hour for AJ Hartman that time through. That is unbelievable. Yeah, it looked like right there, AJ kind of poked his nose into the mirror of AJ poked his nose into the mirror of James, trying to kind of throw him off his game. Chris DeLucia goes to the outside. We're going to see if he can make a stick. He doesn't. He cuts back in. Yeah, he cut left really hard. He started braking behind Thompson and then sort of decided middle of the braking zone to pop out of line. DeLucia climbed the uphill. DeLucia a little bit better through that portion of the racetrack, but we've seen Thompson be really aggressive on those curbs. The car seems to take those a little better. And in the uphill, look at 92 miles an hour for AJ Hartman that time through. That is unbelievable. Yeah, it looked like right there, AJ kind of poked his nose into the mirror of AJ poked his nose into the mirror of James, trying to kind of throw him off his game. Chris DeLucia goes to the outside. We're going to see if he can make a stick. He doesn't. He cuts back in. Yeah, he cut left really hard. He started braking behind Thompson and then sort of decided middle of the braking zone to pop out of line. And when he did that, it almost threw him off the racetrack there. So a very aggressive maneuver to try to stay around here. But, spin! Thompson goes around, turn 4. Looks like he carried just a little too much speed, trying to keep DeLucia behind him, and then that back end just kind of came around, and it was a bit of a lazy spin, but that's a really tough place, especially there at the crest of turn 4, because you've got some camber on the inside, but at the outside, it kind of actually falls away. So once you kind of get over that edge. James has gained a little bit this lap. You see the gap opening up here just visually. But AJ, now he's gotten a bit more clean air on the nose of that car to help with the downforce. This is a car that he's iterated over for years, so he's going to know this very well. While James is still getting up to speed with the TCR platform, car that he hadn't driven before spring of this year. As they head down to turn 1 yet again. Both again, very clean, tidy lines. Yeah, the other thing is that TCR punches a pretty big hole in the air. It's a sizable car. But look at this, advantage to Hartman as far as best lap is concerned by 9 thousandths of a second. That's fantastic. This is a rule set in its infancy here, Mark, but I have to say, for a first swing at it, you know, the parity between these homebrew cars and these homologated entries seems to be very good. Now, AJ Hartman is close, but he's not quite going to get there. Checkered flag. James Houghton wins race 1 at Gridlife GT at Lime Rock Park, just over AJ Hartman. That was close.
I'm going to plan to try to hold off AJ because he had a lot of pace there yesterday, and he's been significantly getting faster and faster throughout the season. And I called it that he was going to be really fast this weekend when he came here.
And Gridlife GT race 1 underway. Just one pace lap here, and James Houghton immediately jumps to the front ahead of David Bamforth here. AJ Hartman right in line. Mark Kilgore joins me again. Mark, it's been a nice cool morning. Good for racing, good for time attack, and we're back underway for race 2. When in qualifying, it's David Bamforth too much into turn 1, and he's in the grass.
It looks very similar to what he did yesterday, but looks like he kept it on track. He just rode it around the outside, and then able to come back on, and looked like he's now behind DeLucia.
Yeah. Whoa, big miss there by the number 165, Eric Thompson. But Eric Thompson on lap 1, the quickest of these drivers into the first corner. That's impressive.
It is. Maybe he's getting a little bit of a draft from the few cars in front of him, able to, or maybe he's got a better run out of turn 7, the downhill
race. 11 minutes to go, and now 0.3 of a second. Hartman is there, but yesterday he got stuck here, kind of got stuck with this sort of arrow wall that he couldn't get around. Look at Houghton sliding through turn 3, just struggling to get that front end to turn in.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be interesting to see if AJ has come up with a plan or is going to try to do anything different. Maybe if after he's watched the video from last race, see if maybe he can adjust his lines anywhere to stay closer to Houghton going down the front, or maybe through the 1, 2, 3 complex.
Hey, look at Hartman. Here he comes.
He is right on him.
Will he pop out of line or will he stay? Here he comes.
He's going for it. And his mirrors, Houghton gives him enough room. Good racing there. Houghton saw him, didn't want to come down on him and have any contact.
Now, this is a fantastic battle here at the front of the field. AJ Hartman versus James Houghton. Yesterday, he was unable to get by, but game on here, Mark.
Looks like AJ Hartman just loses just a couple tenths there coming out of around 2 and into 3. Houghton able to pull on him, which we've consistently seen so far this race.
Into the uphill here. And again, this is where, when you've got a car that's got all this aero, you know, having to lean on it behind a driver when they're displacing all that air becomes a little challenging.
He's definitely figured out something so far in these first few laps there, coming out of turn 7 through the downhill. He's figured out something, getting a little bit closer than what we saw yesterday in race 1.
And just has to wait for a mistake unless you get that run into the first corner. But Hartman has been just chipping away at it, but loses a little ground there this time through.
I will say, you know, it's unfortunate for Hartman. He's looking at Houghton in front of him. Houghton is not going to be too scared.
Look at the cornering force.
Look at that, yep.
1.9 G on lap 6 of the race for James Houghton, 1.7 for Hartman. But again, this is because he's in that aero shadow. We saw him, Hartman, consistently higher than that in qualifying when he had clear air. Hartman's really, really close and not quite overlap on Houghton. He might get it here mid-corner.
Yeah, Houghton just kind of squeezed him down, gave him just enough room, but kept it tight. Really is going to make AJ Hartman earn it. Really clean racing, close racing. These guys are really going at it. Love to see it.
This is fantastic.
Get that run so that Hartman doesn't get a run on him coming down, but it looks like that he timed it really well. And looks like as they all go down too wide, the leaders take the inside. AJ, gosh, he's close on him, but still just not quite close enough. In a better position. So really incredible driving by both of these guys. DeLucia still in 3rd, Thompson in 4th.
And note also that AJ has a better lap than James Houghton, so it should flip the script for the grid for race 3, which will help AJ quite a bit. Here we go, James Houghton 2 for 2, but not by much. Less than 0.2 of a second. Make it 0.18 behind is AJ Hartman in 2nd place.
James Houghton put on a fresh set of tires on the front. He said he wasn't going to trim the car out any. He's already got it about as trimmed out as he can get it. So we'll see if he can get to the front and hold AJ Hartman off, or is AJ going to get the jump on Houghton?
Green flag, Hans Horpendahl back in the field, and just like he did yesterday, charging up to the front here. Into turn 1, Bamforth on the curbing, into turn 1. I thought he was going to clobber Hartman, but he didn't. They were able to keep it on course as Hartman tucks in behind the 41 of James Houghton.
Yeah, great job by AJ and Bamforth there, not hitting each other. I will note that Houghton, one thing with the TCR car, Houghton has ABS in that car, but Hartman does not. So I think that really gives Houghton a big advantage going into turn 1, that he knows he's going to have the braking system, because as we all know, it's a short warm-up lap. It's hard to get temperature into the tires and the brakes, and that gives Houghton a big advantage.
Yeah, it certainly does. And again, we saw AJ Hartman and James Houghton just go at it in the first 2 races of the weekend. The TCR car finding an advantage. Bamforth in the dirt at the top of the hill, driving a little ragged here in this opening lap, just trying to get a rhythm underneath him as DeLucia chases him down the hill. Eric Thompson following as well. First time across the line, Houghton leads, then Hartman, DeLucia, Bamforth, Thompson, Horpendahl, Zazoulis, and Pites.
Yeah, great to see a close battle here for 3rd. DeLucia's really hounded Bamforth turn 1, clipping into turn 2, heading down to turn 3. And let's give a shout out to all the fans at turn 3. I went by there earlier. That hillside is absolutely packed.
Look at this battle, battle for 3rd, battle for 5th. Here comes DeLucia on the brakes, and Bamforth chases him down to the entry of the apex there.
Yeah, really good racing. DeLucia popped out, and you could see Bamforth just kind of fade towards the inside curb,
kind of tighten it up for DeLucia, and as DeLucia slowed up, he actually jumped to the outside trying to see if he could get to the outside of turn 2, but not able to make anything work yet. He's sliding back there trying to do anything with Bamforth.
Yeah, big counter steer correction for DeLucia at turn 3. Have a look there. DeLucia about 1/10.5 off of Bamforth's best time, but I think that's partially because he's been following him. It's hard to go faster than the driver when you're just right up the tailgate of it the entire time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sort of interesting to see. I mean, we're glad to see Bamforth back out there. I wonder if they've maybe toned this car back a little bit, trying to make it last, because we saw him jump up to the front at the beginning of race 2, but then he quickly fell off after he had an off, kind of tried to throw Bamforth off, and Bamforth ran a little deep into turn 1. DeLucia made up some time, and now he is really hounding him, trying to stick the nose in into turn 3, but just can't quite get it done. Bamforth really driving defensively.
Yeah, really slide the car around here a little bit. And again, DeLucia still unable to lap quicker than Bamforth. He just needs to get by that Porsche Cayman to do that.
And as we see these two battling, look who's coming up in the back. We've got Horpedal who's closing in. He's going to make this a 3-car race for 3rd place. To DeLucia, who's now having to look forward and backwards as they go through turn 2.
Yeah, Hans has a lot of wheel-to-wheel experience, and David Bamforth, my understanding, is relatively new to it. Chris DeLucia sort of the driver in the middle, more than just figuratively here.
Yeah, but love seeing Porsche, BMW, Chevrolet, Corvettes all represented here in GLGT. It's turning out to be great so far.
On the Fire Laps graphic here, Houghton and Hartman identical lateral Gs on lap number 8. They are matching each other's performance exactly. Link to at some point hopefully have data for everybody here in the field.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Hans Horpedal, he popped out. Oh, he broke a little too deep. He had gotten up next to DeLucia down the front straight. They were too wide behind Bamforth going into turn 1, but Hans could not keep it under control, and he washed out wide. But it looks like DeLucia's given Hans a point by. It looks like DeLucia maybe has a problem. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, he definitely is waving by more than just Hans. That is not what we wanted to see. DeLucia struggling with something inside the car.
A little bit longer, and it's a little bit harder to do versus, oh boy, here we go. Hans goes down to the inside of Bamforth into turn 1. It looks like he's got him.
Oh, he got him, but he drove in there really deep and had to chase it across the width of the road.
He's trying to get it tucked back down for turn 2. I think he's going to have him into turn 3 if he can keep it clean and keep it down to the inside and get off a good exit at turn 4.
He was wheeling it there. He was all sorts of sideways gathering up his silver C5, but he's got it. But Hartman's way is the way to build it. Look at this mess. Are we 3 wide?
We've got some Corvette action going here. It looks like the Thompson got a great run because he was there at the very end. He got a great run down the hill. Oh, 3 wide. They make it work, but Thompson goes from fourth in line up to 2nd. He's now running up next to Horpedal. He's gotten past Bamforth. Bamforth the loser there. Yeah, that was Alex Pice just getting out of the way there in his black Corvette. He got kind of swarmed there. White flag is in the air. We will get the final lap of the race this time through. James Houghton has been perfect so far. A.J. Hartman has been close. Houghton picks up a 3rd consecutive win this weekend in Gridlife GT. And A.J. Hartman finishes 2nd place. Hans Horpedal should come home with 3rd, but he's a long ways back. Here we go. Time to go racing at Lime Rock Park. Gridlife GT, race 4 is underway. Hans Horpedal on the outside, the silver C5, Mark Kilgore crushing it into turn 1. Is he going to get there first? Lockup from Hartman into the first corner. Yeah, Hans Horpedal got a great jump, leads into turn 1, turn 2. Looks like Sazulis is still in 2nd, but Houghton is aiming for that 2nd space. He jumps to the 2nd space. Sazulis kind of got left out there on the outside of turn 3. Lost a little bit of grip, and now Hartman is in 3rd as well.
Yeah, of course, with the field invert here, we've seen the pace of Houghton and Hartman be significantly quicker than everybody else, but we'll see how long Hans can hold on to this in front of the number 41. For A.J. Hartman, this is a great opportunity with a little bit of a holdup, perhaps, in front of them to try to sneak around the 41. So he'll have to get creative here as we come down the downhill for the first time.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how Hans gets through this downhill and onto the front straight, and who's going to have more top-end speed. That's what we have Fire Laps for. We'll be able to see who's got the top-end speed. Down across the start-finish line into turn 1, it's still Hans in front.
Hans Horpedal doing a great job out front here. Hans been able to hold on to it. He's not even going defensive yet. He seems pretty confident. His straight line pace is great. Here comes DeLucia to the inside. Sorry there, Mike.
No, you're good. Yeah, it looks like we were about to go 3 wide. DeLucia jumps the turn 1 curb. He's able to maintain it.
hooks around the turn 2 curb. He looks like he's got 3rd place. AJ Hartman kind of backs off, gives him some room.
So again, trapped in behind James Houghton. He can't use the arrow on his car like Houghton can with clean air.
Yeah, absolutely. He's kind of buried back there, having to check up. His pace is dependent on the car in front of him. We see DeLucia kind of fading to mid-track, going a little defensive. AJ Hartman goes back out to the outside, brakes. DeLucia stays to the inside.
He's what Tom O'Gorman said. He's in the downhill. I was like, looking for James. Where'd he go? I was worried for a second that we might have lost him in the weeds somewhere. But here he comes. Last lap for James Houghton in the number 41 K-tuned Honda TCR. Again, this car is running very similar to how you would see it in something like the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge or overseas. Of course, it's running street tires, much different size and width, but otherwise it's very similar. And again, setting a benchmark for people to build to. James Houghton, one of the top runners in IBOC GLTC for years, and this will be his, what, 6th straight victory, 5th straight, with the 3 previous wins on the weekend, and then 1 at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course like we talked about with Cerise. But yeah, Houghton put it in the work and consistent all weekend too.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
what is happening around
Checkered
here?
flag, James Houghton 4 for 4 and almost a perfect weekend, 102 points. 25, 25, 25, 25, and 2 points for qualifying. James Houghton takes this very easily this weekend at Lime Rock Park. And,
Probably will, but you know, give something for everybody to chase as we see. Gosh, Zazoulis had caught up Horpedal on that last lap.
And also, look at what this has done for the championship points for this
Wow.
season, with AJ Hartman tied with Hans Horpedal now going into the next event. And again, I know AJ's planning on running more events. I think Hans is as well. So the battle for second is going to be pretty fierce, but they both have to really start racking up some wins if they want to catch Houghton before pit race in October.
Yeah, absolutely.